Now, one of the things that often happens with your acoustic guitar, particularly Martins, we're going to do this with a Martin today, is that after a setup and after the strings, the brand new strings, lose a little bit of their elasticity, get a little bit loose, the neck wants to bow up a little bit more, so you might, in some cases, notice that after like maybe it'll happen after you change your strings. You put a new set of strings on, and the extra tension pulls up the neck. Well, everything else has been set on this guitar. It has the saddle is done correctly at the correct height. It's been set up, and the nut is at the right height. All that is done. Really, the only thing we have to worry about is the truss rod adjustment and what's called neck relief. So when the neck bows up over time, then what happens is the strings raise up and it raises the action. So to determine how far of an adjustment we need to do, the first thing we need to do is tune it up to standard. If it was a half step down, we would just tune it a half step down. Whatever the guitar is going to be used for, half step down, full step, standard, in this case standard tuning. All right, we've got it at standard tuning. Now I'm going to take this straight edge, and notice that this is a straight edge that will lay over the frets onto the fingerboard, and that's good because it tells me how much relief is in that fingerboard. So when you look through here, you will see a gap. When you look here between the straight edge and the wood, you'll see a gap there. All right, and you want to reduce that gap. That's known as relief. You want to reduce that as much as you can. So to tighten the truss rod, we want to first of all loosen the strings. All right, we want to get them pretty loose. Not like they're coming off the guitar, but you want to get them pretty loose. All right. Now I got the strings loosened. I'm going to take the Martin truss rod wrench. I advise you to buy this from the Martin store itself for Martin guitars. This is a Martin truss rod wrench. They do make one that is smaller for some other newer, I think Mexican models, but this is the one that's going to fit in the great majority of Martins if they have an adjustable truss rod. And as you know, Martins did not have an adjustable truss rod until 1981. Before that, they were all embedded bars. It would be a T-bar or it would be a steel tube. And so after 81, they started putting adjustable truss rods in. Now, if this has been adjusted before, and it has, then it probably is not going to need much of a turn. I'm going to start with about, I just did about a quarter turn there. I'm going to give it a little bit more. Let's just say I gave it a half turn. Okay. Now I'm going to tune it up. Just about there. Everybody likes low action. You want to keep it low, you got to keep your truss rod straight. And I don't mean totally straight. We want to have a slight bow in the neck. A gap under that straight edge in the center at tuning should be about big enough to slide a piece of paper through. Get it right on key in the player's position. You don't want to start tuning it on the bench because as the guitar is laying down, the neck can actually bow up a little bit and the tuning will be off. So the accurate way to do this is in the playing position, okay? Now, I've got it tuned back up. Do I know if it's straight or not? Well, I can't tell by doing this. Don't ever think you can tell by looking down the edge of a fingerboard whether it's straight or not. Now, if it's really bowed up bad, yeah, you'll be able to see that you can shoot arrows off of it. But in this case, we're fine-tuning this. Now the first thing I want to do when I set it over the frets and onto the fingerboard, I want to make sure this thing is not rocking. Because if it's rocking, that means that it's got a back bow. There's a hill here on it. And then I also kind of like to put it over the frets a little bit too and see if it rocks over those. And it doesn't. All right, now let's look at the adjustment that I've made. And we'll see that you have to really look for that relief sometimes. And in this case, it's right here, right under my thumb. You'll see a little bit of relief there. Okay, and then the rest of the fingerboard here, the place where you're doing most of your playing, it's like entirely straight. Do you see that? Okay. All right, now you want to check your action. This is an extra step. I would advise you to get a string action gauge. The Stewart McDonald string action gauge is the best for this, and you'll notice it's 70 thousandths. The line there for 70 thousandths, that's where we want the action at tuning for this guitar, as it was originally set that way for low action. 70 thousandths at the high E string at the 12th fret at tuning. 70 thousandths. And that's where it is right now. So we've set the action at the 12th fret. We're at 70 thousandths at the 12th fret at tuning. And that's good low action for this guitar. No buzzing. Nice and clean, very playable action. And where is that truss rod relief? Well, take the straight edge and check it. And you can see that's where it is. Very small gap. And that's what you want. About enough of a gap to slide a piece of paper in there. So, I hope that helps you understand how to keep your Martin guitar not just tuned up, but tightened up. All right.